Welcome in everybody to a video first of its kind. Don't know if there'll be a second one, so don't get used to these. But this is kind of a rant video. I want to just talk freely with the community because I've seen some changes to the war, and I saw a lot of negative reaction to what's going on with the changes that have been proposed in the upcoming new war season. So I just want to talk a little bit about the current state of war for some folks that for perspective that most don't understand. So I'm going to start the video just being truthful and really honest with you all. War at the high end is a different game than war at every other level. And I realize that this change probably, we're talking about the top, I'm going to be generous and say maybe top 50 alliances, right? Which is maybe the top 2,400 players in the game. I understand that that's not the bulk. But the problem for those alliances is so real. And the problem for those alliances, they include a lot of people who do spend a little bit more, because the more you spend, the higher your war teams can be. The higher your war teams can be, the more you're recruited to join a war alliance. It's a interesting hamster wheel, but it can't be ignored, right? It's very important to consider what's going on, right? So when you see these changes and you say 2 wars, this stinks. Oh man, defense only, this stinks. But my theory crafting, this stinks. I'm going to give you an alternate perspective that some of the folks that I play with have been going through over the last 2 years. They've spent 2 years of their lives dealing with this because of those problems that you have decided. Now, they've chosen to do it. Some of them have only lasted a year. Some of them lasted 18 months. Some of them lasted 6 months, and they're out of there. But do we want people quitting the game? We don't. I don't think we do. I don't think we want anyone at any level quitting the game. So let's just talk about it a little bit. The number one problem with war, currently as it sits, that everybody can agree with, is rewards. Let's be very flat out honest. The rewards do not match the effort that you put into war. Even if you are one of those folks who just does the 10 attacks and moves right along, like me on my alternate accounts, right? And you just don't really care too much, it still feels like a chore. I don't feel like I'm rewarded for my effort. I don't think there's much else to say on this. The changes to the proposed rewards, hey, gold, training mats, all right, we like that. So let's start with that. This is great news.
Okay, listen,
thank you
fuck
so
up.
much. I do appreciate that so much.
Hit it like you mean it.
I will have to get rid of those eventually, I'm pretty sure. I'm not editing this. Sorry, YouTube. If I get muted, I'm very sorry. It is what it is. Blame Wapo. It's his fault. So it is what it is. We're not going to edit this, so I don't think those are copyrighted, but we'll see. But here, let's talk about the real issue with this nonsense. The real issue with this is, so it's been almost 7 years. We have so many characters, right? Like there's so many characters. And yes, I realize I'm in the way here. So I'll get to these numbers down here that you see in a second. And I'm shortchanging it quite a bit. Quite a bit. We've got 7 years worth of characters. There is flat out too much theory crafting going on. Flat out. Too much theory crafting. It's that simple, guys. It's that simple. There's been so much complaining about, well, the defense, bonuses are going to force us into using certain teams and da. That's because at any given time, and my numbers, I'm using a abridged version of somebody who's way smarter than me who figured this stuff out. You have at any given time, I don't know which way to duck. I'm sorry. Duck, dip, dodge. You have 20 viable teams you could possibly use for defense right now. 20. It's probably a little bit more, but I'm going to go on the short side and say it's 20. Then you have 65 plug and play characters. Some of them overlap into that team. Some of them don't, right? And then, so you look at the variations of defenses you could possibly come up with. That's 1,300 different defensive rooms you could come up with. Multiply that by 24 players, by 10 rooms. Like, what are we talking about here? This is the shit that everybody wants to theory craft and do all this? Do you have any idea what this equates for war captains and what they have to spend time figuring out on the other side of that. You come up with this massive defense that you think is so wonderful and so smart, and that's great. I'm not arguing that you haven't done something, you haven't accomplished something. But you've now created war captains who have to spend hours and hours calling each and every war, sitting in Discord, waiting for people who have the right teams to attack. Okay, I need 10 of my mythic characters on offense, so then I can have 14 on defense. Or do I go 8 and 16? Do I go 12 and 12, right? All of these things to make sure I have the exact number of counters that I'm hoping to fight somebody here. This has driven the game out of the fucking game and into fucking spreadsheets. All right, YouTube, this video is not meant for kids. I'm cursing a lot. I'm very sorry. But you're taking, it's not even screen time at this point in time. Right? So what advantage does Scopely get for driving us all into spreadsheets? And then be able to figure out and track who has what character. Are they on offense? Are they on defense? Are this, that, and the other? Like, and then how many of these do they have? And you're trying to match these things up. And you're all the time you're waiting for somebody for a game you play on your phone. Like a game you play on your phone. This is what you people are asking for. This is when you say, I want more theory crafting, I want more agency, I want more this, I want more that, but none of you are sitting on your phone like this with spreadsheets and 10 screens and doing everything to try to figure this out. All of this nonsense is because you want more agency. Like, this is so silly that people drive this conversation who aren't doing that. My friends do that. The people I play the game with do that. I don't want them to spend 12 to 15 hours per war doing that. I want them to play the game. I don't want them to be an Oracle engineer to be able to figure this stuff out, to have an AWS server to be able to do this. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. So these changes are great. We need to go down to less rooms and less wars per week. Please, please make way for better content, for more engaging content that keeps us on our phone, Scopely. Thank you for these changes. I thank you personally for my friends that have given up on this game, for my friends who refuse to give up on this game. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Absolutely. This is it. I put them on the wrong side, but you can see 4 of the top 5 alliances from war over the last 12 months, done. Done. Those are shelled alliances. There's other alliances that have also quit, right? That just aren't just sitting on billions of trophies anymore. Like, this is what we're talking about here. Like, you're driving some of these alliances who are long-standing, forever been in here, to just not be out there. They're just gone. There you go. So, do I have a little bit of a rant? Yes. I just want the community to understand that there's another point of view, and that these problems are that the theory crafting and the so many characters are being made and all this agency and all this, I want to be able to decide and this, that, and the other. We're playing a different game. I agree. We're playing a different game, but until it's a different game mode, that you get locked out because you physically can't compete, which would be a whole nother series of tiers from the community about how they're not allowed to compete with the big boys. Like, it doesn't make much sense to continue asking people to dedicate this much time to it. It doesn't. It just outright doesn't. That's my TED Talk. Appreciate you being here. Thanks so much.